want to start or shall I?
You start. And
well, mutual friend
called
Bexy, and a blind date, which is kind of a weird way to meet because you first maybe speak to that person on the phone when it's all being set up.
Did you like my voice?
I liked your voice. I thought it was important, and I thought you had a sense. You start talking, and we were sort of going through this business of how are we going to recognise each other, because we don't, obviously don't know. So I remember joking about wearing a sombrero and having.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and
I remember I had to get over the fact of your name.
Which you still haven't got over,
No.
But you live with it.
I do, yeah. But your voice really helped because I thought you had a very nice voice.
Yeah, and your voice as well. So you sort of, I think from just a bit of a chat on the phone, you get a good feeling over whether someone's...
You can get on.
Yeah, whether you're going to get on.
So we talked on the phone a couple of times, I think. I think we talked more than once.
Yeah, at least, I think
And then
twice.
We met at Charing Cross Station at the front.
At the front, which is always a bit of a thing, because
There's a lot of
I remember
there.
I got there first, and I was waiting, and as there's a lot of people obviously around a station, there was people sort of, a woman by herself moving towards me.
But I think I'd said
not her, please.
I had a swathe of grey hair, didn't I?
Yeah, but you kind of, if someone's got a hat on or a scarf, you just don't know, and you just. So quite often I had a couple of hearts.
Fags.
Well, but I did before actually, and then had eaten a load of polo mints to sort of disguise the fact
that you'd been
smoking lots of fags. But yeah, it was a bit of a thing, standing there and thinking,
It's a horrendous thing to do. Had you done the blind date before?
I was a kid, maybe once.
Because I thought I was going to die of nerves on the way there before. But actually, I think having spoken to you, I didn't feel so bad meeting. So anyway, we met and we went to the pub, didn't we?
We did. We went to a pub on Villiers Street, and you drank a lemonade, and it concerned me because I thought,
But then I praised you for smoking marijuana, didn't I, or something, which you liked, but retrospectively...
I don't think I'd owned up to that at that point. I didn't think. By the way, I'm a bit of a dope head.
No, I think we did. You did cover that.
Did I?
Yeah.
Gosh, very honest.
And then I remember when we left, I wasn't sure whether to kiss. And I think we did.
Yes, you kissed me on the cheek, I remember.
Right.
Yes. And we discussed whether we might have time to meet each other again in our busy lives.
Yeah, and I was wearing sandals, wasn't I?
You were wearing sandals, yeah.
And a leather jacket.
A leather jacket, yes.
Nothing else.
Not much else.
Yeah, and you were wearing... not that chunky jumper, I don't think, on the first.
Big chunky jumper.
And I can't remember whether your hair was down.
No, it would have been tied back.
I think one of the second
I had long hair
you had your hair
had a ponytail.
Flailing in the wind.
I think maybe I did. I let it loose to sort of,
to try and
do that. Yeah.
And then we met in Greenwich, didn't we?
In Greenwich.
And was that when I liked the jumper you were wearing with your arms in it?
I think it might have been. Yeah. You didn't have your spectacles, and you found it hard to distinguish me from any other man that was in Greenwich on that day.
I really couldn't remember what you looked like. But I liked your chunky jumper, and I wanted to touch your jumper.
I've still got that jumper.
Your jumper, I know.
Still got it.
Sorry, are we boring you? Cough. Get it out, then you can edit that out. And then I went away for a weekend on a drumming weekend, and I remember the topic of conversation on my drumming weekend was how you get to first, second, third, or even fourth base, because I hadn't been in a relationship for so long. And all the 4 women who went on this weekend had an issue to discuss, and my issue was, how do you get from base to base?
Did they give you good advice? Did you take any advice?
I can't remember what the advice was, but it's a good drumming weekend. And then we just had more dates, didn't we?
Yeah, more dates. It's funny, I can't remember. After the Greenwich one, I can't really remember.
We went to Imogen's. We went to Imogen's birthday party, and we walked back from somewhere. Yeah. And I said, "Did you want to stay the night?" And you said, "No, I'm going home." It's very romantic.
Yes. I think that was me just
But then
trying
you
not
changed
to...
your mind.
Did I change my mind? Yeah, I think I was just not wanting to appear pushy. And I remember you were giving me little beakers of scotch, and then after I'd had a couple of those, I thought, well, I better not drive.
Yeah. So you said, oh, perhaps I will stay.
After you'd plied me with scotch.
And after you'd said, no, I think
Well,
I'll
no,
go home.
I just didn't want to...
Have these ever ended in arguments, Henry? Could this be the first one?
Yeah. No, I just didn't want to assume anything. I think that's what
No.
it was. It was not wanting to, you know...
Be too pushy.
Be too pushy. I'd decided when we'd met that I wasn't, you know, I was just going to let it evolve and not try and, you know, push it too quickly, you know, and just
See what
do
happened.
it, you know, properly.
One step at a time.
Yeah, I think, you know, when you're younger you tend to rush things and it